Hey guys, I am Foxtrot Delta, and welcome back to Space Engineers. It just got really dark all of a sudden. I had some new things I wanted to show you, but we might have a change of plans here. I was in direct sunlight. What's going... Oh. Now, I might be mistaken, but that looks mighty just like a Borg cube. That thing is massive. Look at all those turrets. The question is it friendly? And I think we'll know the answer soon. But Borg are usually friendly, aren't they? Yeah. Looks fine. That is a lot of turrets. We have Gatling turrets, missile turrets. Oh no, not friendly. Not friendly at all. Run! Oh god. Oh no. Well, I'm stuck in the reactor. Never mind, I'm not stuck in the reactor. Let's open the bay doors if we can. It's broken. Shuttle bay doors, come on. Let me out. Oh man, look at that. Look at the carnage. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my Borg cube. 40 blocks by 40 blocks by 40 blocks, all heavy armor. Only one layer thick, however, which is kind of a downside there. 48 turrets, plus all of those turrets have welders attached to them, so they are auto-repairing. They regenerate just like the Borg. Now, ideally, you'd want to do that for the entire cube surface, but in order to be really useful in multiplayer servers, especially where they oftentimes have limits on the amount of welders you can have, this works perfectly. It's just over 50,000 PCU units, 11,000 blocks, I think. Let's take a look at the damage the USS Ticonderoga just endured. Oh boy. Let's turn back on the HUD. Okay. Turning on the inertial dampeners. Cube's just drifting away. It'll be fine, though. You have no idea how long that took me to set up. So, look at the damage. We completely gutted the front of engineering. The saucer is a mess. That's where I was standing. I was standing... Let's turn on the dampeners here. I was standing in this spot. The hallways are gone. Let's see if we can get to the bridge. We've lost power. So we not only lost the reactors... Yeah, we have lost power. We not only lost the reactors, we also lost the emergency batteries, which are located just underneath this support strut here. Yeah, this hole right here is where all of the ship's emergency... there's one! This is where all the ship's batteries were. Let's get the welder out and see if we can turn the power back on. Okay, it works. Kind of. I wouldn't call this working, but there's electricity flowing, and in the state of things, I'll probably get electrocuted. So, this is the bridge. It no longer has air. This ship, by the way, was all airtight beforehand. This is all heavy armor. Although the roof here is only half block thick, but it's still heavy armor. Oh, you have no gravity. Oh my gosh. So, that's what happens when you put one of my Federation starships against my Borg cube. Let's continue to survey the damage here, and then we'll get to the actual Borg cube part, because that's a really, really cool ship. This was sick bay. Over here was the port airlock. I think this was the port utility area, but it's kind of a giant mess. There's a gyroscope just sitting in the middle of the room. There's one passenger seat. Nice. The cryo room, I believe, was right here. It is no longer. And this is the starboard utility area. Also no seats. And you already saw what was left of main engineering. And the shuttle bay is the most intact spot because it is, well, at the back of the most intact. I mean, if this is the most intact... Wow. The amount of destruction was incredible. So let's just leave that drifting in space. Let's go over to the actual cube. We are the Borg. Resistance is futile. Let's use the spectator cam. It's still drifting, by the way. I probably should turn on the engines. As you can tell, the interior of this thing is not made for normal habitation. There we go. And let's delete the remote and timer block here. So this is the Borg cube that I created a couple days ago. As I mentioned before, it's 40 by 40 by 40, all heavy armor. It also has this interior section on the inside that, I want to close that door. That's the entrance, by the way. That's the entrance, and then down there somewhere is the door that you go in right here to access the main control room. So this is covered by heavy armor, and it does use mods. Unfortunately, I could potentially make this without using mods and just using regular thrusters, but I think that would cause a lot of lag, especially in multiplayer, which is where I've been using this. But I do highly recommend the mod that I'm using right now. It's the Tiered Engine Superpack, I believe. I will put it in the description, and these are Tier 4 ion engines. I also have a version of this using Tier 4 hydrogen thrusters, and that one also works really well, but the problem with hydrogen is that you take out one conveyor and the whole system goes offline. So ion is a lot better. As long as you have electricity, you'll be fine. And speaking of electricity, this is the source of the power of this vessel, a ×100 Arc Reactor from the Arc Reactor mod. I will also have that link to that mod in the description as well. And the link to this vehicle, this Borg cube, is in the description too. So there isn't much really to do as far as giving you a tour of this. I mean, you've really seen, once you've seen the outside, you've seen it all. I really focused on making the exterior of this cube as intimidating and Borg-like as possible. Take a look at that menacing silhouette against the sun. Let's see if we can just look at that. That's so dark and ominous, and the lighting, I think I got perfect. It reminds me a lot of the cube that the Enterprise D encountered when Q flung them all that distance, and the same one that they battled at Wolf 359. It also reminds me of that a lot. So let's turn on the lights of my spectator cam. We have 12 jump drives, a whole bunch of gyros, all of those thrusters. I believe there are 8 going 8 going each direction. And one of the more interesting features of this vessel is the auto repair system. So we have behind each turret 2 welders. This thin layer of armor is light armor, except for the armor directly over the welder. That is heavy armor, and that protects the welders. And every time a turret is damaged or removed, shot at, whatever, it will come back. So take a look at this. I think that is pretty neat. It uses a projector as well to use the blueprint so the welders know what to weld where. That's why you can see the blueprint when you delete these. Sometimes it'll show up. Or it won't. It showed up once before. Anyway, so that's how that system works. Just uses welders and projectors. 48 turrets, as I already mentioned, so that is a lot of firepower. And for a thing of this size and magnitude, it is actually pretty maneuverable. That is a hole in the... Well, actually, this doesn't really matter. I still have to tweak this a little bit. I'll still be adding more stuff, patching areas that look a little weird. The whole inside looks weird because it is just made for a creative server, just to be piloted by one person, just for fun. This is just a fun thing to use to terrify other people if you want. Or if you're doing like a roleplay for Star Trek, this is the vessel you would definitely want to be facing against when it comes to the Borg. I might release a regular unmodded version of this, but look how quickly it accelerates for weighing as much as it does. That's all heavy armor, like I said, except for those thin strips on the outside. That is light armor. Around the control room and reactor is heavy armor as well. It is cube 2163, because I just chose a random number. And our jump range on this version, the ion version, is 698 kilometers. With the hydrogen thruster version, it actually weighs less, so it actually has a jump range of, I think, about 1,000 kilometers. Still not very far because it's all heavy armor, and really, you're going to just spawn this in where you're going to want to use it. You don't want to be jumping around across systems with this. It's not made for that, but just to get a size comparison, it's not huge, okay? It's not gigantic. At first I was going to make this a 50 by 50 by 50 cube, and that was pretty big, but I decided that it was a little bit too much for my taste. It'd be a lot of work to put together, and plus it wouldn't work in a lot of servers because of the restrictions on the number of welders you can have and other components. So if we let's grab the Independence class again. This time it won't shoot at it, because the version that I was using before was owned by the pirate faction. So this is the size differential. Still a very large vessel, definitely, but it's not huge. It's not actual Borg size. I mean, this is a small starship, and it's still about, I don't know, as long as the cube is on one face. And if we grab one of my larger vessels, let's grab the Miranda class. Let's grab the modded version. Yeah, I know, I can't use some of the blocks on the ship. It's fine. So this is my Miranda class. There we go. And you can see it actually is... The Miranda class is larger looking than the Borg cube, but the Borg cube could definitely take it in a fight. It just shreds everything. Because we have, what, 8 turrets per side. And also, I do plan to make more Federation starships in the future, because those are actually a lot of fun to make, and I think I did a really good job with them so far. We have the USS Ticonderoga here, we have the Saratoga. Let me grab my Resilient refit. I have a modded version here with modded thrusters. All of these are on the workshop, by the way. The mods... Let's see, the versions of my starship with these mods are not on the workshop, however, but the Borg cube is. The ones in the workshop of the starships are just regular vanilla space engineers. So, yeah, that is the cube. That's the size comparison. It is deadly. It is terrifying to look at, and it really makes everything very screenshot worthy. You've already seen the acceleration is pretty insane for something this big. And that is because of those modded thrusters. Now, you've already seen what it's like to be attacked by a cube, but what is it like to actually attack a cube? And I think I can do that with only one person being me. I will set all of this stuff to be automatic. I will leave the turrets on, and the cube will just stay in one place because it's a Borg cube. It doesn't have to move. It should be deadly enough, but I will grab the USS Ticonderoga again, set everything to be owned by the Space Pirates faction, and then when the turrets come in contact with each other, it will be a lot of fun. So I'll be right back once I get that set up. Okay everyone, I am back, and I kinda did the reverse. I have the Borg set to be the enemy ship, and I have this ship set to being friendly, and now we are going to charge that Borg cube in the distance. We are behind Mars. And from this angle, the Borg's lights kind of go away. But let's actually zoom in just to take a look at it. First of all, I love the lighting on the USS Ticonderoga here. I really do like this starship that I've constructed. It's on the workshop, I already mentioned. You guys can find it there. It just looks so cool when it's dark. And then, this also looks really intimidating. Very Borg-like, as I mentioned earlier. It's just plain scary. This would be something you'd spawn for, like, I don't know, maybe a server event. Maybe you'd have a small fleet of them, maybe 2 or 3 if you have a really good PC, a really good host server that you're using. You could have players put their small ships up against these alien Borg fleets. Okay, let's go back to the actual seat and let's begin the battle. Now, as I mentioned before, the Borg will not move because I do not have any scripts on it that allow it to move. It's very rare to find those, actually. And also the drone waves mod that I used to use before to test my ships out no longer functions, which really irritates me. But it's just the new updates to the game break things a lot, and that's okay if the game gets better. But I'm saddened by the fact that a lot of old mods no longer work. So enough jabbering. Let's turn off our rear thrusters so we can maneuver more almost like an airplane, because this means that our thrusters pointing backwards will be off, so we can tilt up, and our thrusters will move us up using our upward thrust, but we won't slow down going forward. It'll make more sense once you see it, so let's engage. See, look at this. I can curve without having to do any manual corrections. Alright, let's engage the turrets, bring the rocket launchers online, and start the battle. Okay, let's turn now. Let's turn now. Turrets are firing. Major damage already to my ship. Let's get out of the fight for a second. Okay, we've escaped, but oh my goodness, I am going to need a bigger ship because we have lost lateral thrust. We've lost backwards thrust. Actually, backwards thrust is off, but do I even have it? Okay, I have some. Let's turn that back on. Let's slow down. We've lost most of it because a lot of our thrusters are inside the nacelles, and the nacelles are damaged. Now, while we're trying to slow down and not crash and die, let's take a look at the Borg cube. So, look at that. We did do some damage. I managed to knock out 2 of the welders for the turret repair system, which is one of the flaws that I find in this design. Look, even the armor held up, okay? It wasn't the armor's fault, because around here is a lot of light armor, but these blocks on top of the welders are heavy armor, but the armor held. It's just that oh, that is weird looking. Look at that. It doesn't know what a Gatling gun looks like, but one of our missiles probably had to hit like right in this area to take out both the tip of the welder and the turret. So they did lose a turret. They've taken minor damage to their hull. The interior is pretty okay. They've lost a few thrusters. That was just from one run, but they still have thrusters on the other side. And I made sure to split up the design, so part of the thrusters going one way or over here, part of the thrusters going the same way or over here. So if we lose this entire section, we can still make most of our maneuvers, but I don't think it'll come to that. All right, let's charge them again. Also, this cube is actually fairly maneuverable because of its gyroscope, so it can turn, and if one side gets pretty damaged, they can just turn and use another side to protect the interior. Okay, enough talking. We're still not slowing down. That's a problem. That is a problem. Let's see if we can get down to engineering and reconnect the hydrogen. Okay, we still have oxygen here. That's good. Let's actually close this in case the next door I open leads to space. And it does. Alright, we still have our stairwells here. Okay, there is your problem. We've lost a lot of important pieces right there. Let's grab our handy-dandy conveyor junction and see if we can patch that up. Come on. Hey, I think it might have helped a little bit. Let's get to this section, see if, okay, we cannot open this door. Okay, this is why the starboard nacelle is not working. We have lost the conveyor. Meanwhile, the Borg, if the player was on there, could be chasing us and already would have destroyed this ship by now, okay? So, it is deadly. They can take on virtually any small ship and almost any large ship given enough time. Even if the Borg lose propulsion, you're never going to be able to take out all of the turrets. And plus the reactor is shielded by another layer of heavy armor. The only thing that can defeat the Borg cube that I've noticed in multiplayer servers are somewhat smaller large ships using gravity projectiles and very fast mounted thrusters. Because you can outrun the cube, you can outmaneuver it using highly powerful thrusters. And if you're launching deadly projectiles like gravity railgun projectiles, that can take out a Borg cube. So just something to think about. Although that can really take out any ship now that I think about it, so it's not just mine. Conveyor, we need the curved conveyor. Tube? I know this is the boring part of the battle where I try to repair the ship and slap some tape in places that it needs it. We still do not have air over there, but I think we have managed to restore hydrogen in the starboard engine. That's the one problem with this ship, is its dependence on hydrogen, which is why I made the ion version of the Borg cube. Because I knew that would be a problem. We are still drifting. I don't know why. Well, let's see. Are we... we have that. We have... Forward, backward, up, down. No, we have, okay, we have all of our thrust back. Let's check. Okay, we still have... rockets. Let's go again. Let's disable rear thrusters so we can adjust our course. This bridge is shielded with 2 layers of glass in the front, so that's why we still have air. And I'm going to try to not crash into the cube, but there are just so many turrets on that thing, I can't really take the time to avoid all that fire. I could try to go quickly, but then my rockets would end up slamming into my ship, which is not what I want. What I can do is I can try to be just outside of their firing range and then launch rockets. That might be able to work. That's what I'd usually do if I was in a situation like this where I had a huge ship with a lot of turrets. Let's slow down. Let's try to get to about 1 kilometer, and then we'll see if the rockets will hit from that distance. Maybe they'll still detonate at about 800 meters, I don't know, but it is worth a shot. And then I'm still gonna try to get blown up by the cube because that's still a lot of fun. So let's slow down. It's not slowing down. Okay. We just lost the bridge. We didn't lose the bridge, we lost the command seat. Have I lost thrusters? I'm not sure. I think I've lost thrusters. It's not even a contest. I lost that seat too. Well, this is now a convertible. That's one of my turrets. Let's re-engage the rear thrusters they were on. We are slowing down. Okay, we have a hole there. Let's get to the auxiliary control room. Oh, this is nice. This one. Alright, let's grab block weapons. See, I'm not out of the fight yet. I have several control rooms. Let's see how many turrets we have. It's not encouraging. That's also not encouraging. We have systems that are red all across the board. And how's the cube doing? How's the cube doing? Okay, those thrusters are still on fire. By now, someone would have probably welded them. They have another thruster on fire. They've lost a couple over here. They actually lost quite a few over there. So we did do some damage through the armor. But, not enough to render it inoperable. And we are by far the more damaged out of this. We have loose pieces. Look at that. My ship is bleeding. There's just stuff flying out of it. Okay, resistance might be futile. So let's not resist. Let's just embrace them. All power to the forward thrusters. We cannot let this cube continue attacking systems. We're going for the ram, and because I have a speed mod, it's gonna be a doozy. Oh god. Stay the course. Stay the course. Are we inside? I think we're inside. No, we bounced off. We bounced off the cube. Alright, let's go into the cube. And let's see if it's still operable. It did take some damage there. I'm assuming. Looks like they lost a few jump drives. I'm still tweaking it, so I might have to add more armor in places, but I just don't want it to be so massive that it'll start lagging out computers and servers, because it is almost to that point. It's such a large design. Now, the only question is, where did I put the door? So if I can find the door, I can. There it is. So this is the part with the entrance. Okay. Okay. Command seat area is still. Come on. Is still just fine. Let's see. That works. Thrusters forward, left, right work. Let's go down. Down is slower, but still operable. And up is the slowest yet, but also Still operable. Forward works. Oh. So how many turrets did we lose? 1, 2. That's the final count. We lost... No, 4. We lost a whole 4 turrets. And the reason why I chose to make the turrets the part that self-repairs and not the hull is because turrets are often what other turrets automatically fire at first. They'll take out your weapon systems and your engines and things like that. So I wanted to make sure that the turrets stayed operable so we'd have the maximum fighting capabilities the entire time. Let's transfer the owner back to me. And let's turn off the projector so we can actually see the damage. Okay. So we do have quite a little bit of hull damage on the outside. Like I said, that's all heavy armor. But the interior is actually pretty okay. It is pretty okay. I did not set it all to being owned by me, did I? Come on. All of it. Me. Yes, I want to change the owner to me. There we go. Look at that. And the reactor and gyroscopes are still in pristine condition. Just a few of the thrusters are gone. Those can be welded up, no problem. And I might actually add a few cryopods to this, or other seats, so if you want, you can have a crew of 2 or 3 other engineers in here. And they can repair the ship while it's in battle. Well, I'm not going to spend time repairing all those. Those actually take longer than I thought. But yeah, so that is the Borg cube. It is terrifying. It's not the most deadly vehicle in existence, but on servers where you're facing smaller vessels than this, most likely, it will probably do a lot of damage and be the terror of the skies. Because I know when I've used it, I've gone against fleets of 2 or 3 vessels with this before, and the only issues I've encountered were when I encountered ships that were using gravity projectiles, and when they were faster than I was. And that was my other version before I made it ion-powered. That was in the hydrogen version because I kept on losing thrusters. This one, I'm not going to lose all my thrusters that easily. So, that was a battle between the Federation and the Borg. As you can see, while the Borg are not completely infallible, they definitely held up a lot better than the USS Ticonderoga. I have 2 of them. So this is the one from before, I think. Yeah, this is the one from before that I blew up. And then, this was the one that was in battle. Oh, it's so sad. I feel so bad about this. Not really. Okay, let's get in front of it, and then... let me aboard! I want to see the damage! Oh, we just went into the sunlight. Okay, that's a new door. That's, this is just one long room at this point. Is there anything left of the command area that I was in? That was the port side auxiliary control. Huh, this door is upside... no, it's right side up, never mind. I don't know why I thought it was upside down. Okay, well, this was where I was. This was my command area. Just recently. And this is where the other one should be. It should be in this spot right here. So I'm glad I wasn't there. Okay, I think that just about wraps up the video. I've been talking for a long time, and well, you've already seen the results of encounters with my Borg cube. So if you guys enjoyed the video, well then please be sure to leave it a like, and if you are not subscribed and you want to see more, well then please subscribe, because there is hopefully going to be a lot more space engineers on this channel, also more Star Trek Legacy videos coming soon. I know it's been a while, but well, first of all, I've been building this, and I've just been trying to think of new things to record, so interesting videos like Space Engineers, where it's just different than Star Trek Legacy, is something that I actually enjoy doing a lot, because it's just something new, and, also, I really love this game. This is amazing. So if for whatever reason you guys did not enjoy the video, I do apologize for that, and I ask that you leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what it is that I can do to improve the next videos that I produce, so that hopefully you guys will find some entertainment when you watch them. And that's all I have to say. The Borg cube, what an impressive vessel. It is daunting to say the least. It's ominous, and it looks incredible. So as always, I am Foxtrot Delta. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing day, and I will see you next time.